And good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in podcast land. Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor at eXp. With me, my buddy Matt Paul. He does it all. But we had somebody drop in from the sky today because we say we want to keep you on top of things. We mean it. This guy's really on top of things because this is the one and only Steve Rott, Rott Roofing on the roofs. He's keeping you on top of things. If you haven't heard his commercials, at least on WBEN, I think Bowerly's got you.
Yeah, we've done everything for Bowerly over the years. Roof siding windows.
Yeah, but he goes on and on and on. Why? Because this is the best roofer in Western New York. I have no qualms saying that. They've been around for 4 generations. We were trying to do the calculation, 116 years. Yeah. Family owned, operated, not a franchise. These guys are this is the real deal. And you want to get a house that's got a roof on it, and hopefully a good roof. So what should we look for if we're looking to replace a roof?
Well, first off, see if you need one, obviously. If you don't need one, nobody in their right mind wants to buy a roof. Yeah. It's kind of like getting your tooth, filled.
Can't wait to get my next
expensive habit if that's what you're into.
Yeah. So if you have a problem, you're going to start to do your due diligence. Give a few people a call, try and get referrals, and that's what you should do. For getting a good contractor, obviously referrals is a good point. But even then, a lot of times people refer somebody that they thought was a good job, and 1, 2, 5, 10 years later, it's a problem. So take your time, talk to people in a way that's thorough, and learn things through the process, so that by the time you're done, you've made the best decision.
It's interesting you say take your time, and it's usually in situations when somebody knows they need a roof. Yep. They don't want to take the time. It's counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you've got a
I got to get it now.
Who's the closest dentist?
Yeah.
I the best thing you can do is call William C. Rott Sons, and I only say that because it's true. and because as I was talking to a real estate agent years ago, and I was saying, she was asking me, how should I talk about you guys? How should I refer you? What's the truth about you guys? And I said, well, one of a couple of things. Tell them they're going to cost more because they're going to do a better job. If you're looking for someone like them, they're a good deal. But if you're looking for cheap, it's not going to be them. But the best thing you could do is give them a call. Don't make the mistake of not calling them to get an estimate, because one of 2 things will happen. You'll go with them, and you'll get a great job and you won't have problems. Or you'll get an education that helps you make a better decision somewhere else. So either way, it's a win.
Win-win. Yep.
That's great. What should I look for what should the average consumer look for in a good roof? I mean, they just look like roofs to us.
Well, you probably haven't seen a lot of William C. Rott roofs. That's not the truth.
Okay.
In that case.
Glow in the dark. I mean,
it's a lot like that. A glow in the light.
There you go.
Because they show up. There's various different things about a roof that make a difference. You're right. They all kind of look the same until you see one that looks really good. I think you said this years ago. You said, you see a woman and she's a beautiful woman like that, but a woman who hasn't got a chance to do her hair versus one who has done her hair, there's a difference.
And
there's a value.
Coiffed versus non-coiffed.
There's a value, to that. It's not everything, but it's a piece of it because it adds value to your home.
It's finished work. And
it shows up in the way it's put on, the straight lines. One of the things that beefs up our roofs compared to anybody else's that's out there, probably nationwide, is our valleys. We do, instead of a closed valley, which everybody else does, we do an open valley. It's a 3-layer system: ice shield, rubber, true EPDM rubber, and then a WPAN aluminum put on with clips, so it can expand and contract. That takes one of the weakest points of the roof, makes it one of the strongest.
And that's what gets penetrated the most with our ice damming and all that, right?
Yeah, and again, it's going to wear out before the rest of the roof, typically, because it's a gully. What happens in gullies?
It's a trench. Everything runs there, and
So and plus, the problem with all these closed valleys, the guys that don't really know the business, especially, they're nailing too close to trying to get the shingles to fit inside of it, and that's why you get so many leaks with these closed valleys. Not just how long they last, but they do them badly.
So you'll know if you didn't do the roof and you guys go there to tear it off, you know exactly, probably before you even open it up, how they did it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not uncommon to have to try and go there and fix a closed valley thing, but there's no way to do it. Slop tar on top.
Yeah.
It's going to look great. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But it won't fix it.
Okay.
So in open valley, the way we build them, it's going to be stronger and it's going to look better.
Oh, that's good to know.
All right.
Real good to
That
know.
was a good question.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that question. Different grades. I mean, architectural versus they're pretty much the game in town now, right?
Yeah, the architecturals, but there's all different levels of quality. It's what you put into it. Everything's an architectural unless it's a specialty product.
Mhm.
There's some beautiful specialty products that look like slate or tile and stuff like that. And there's a lot of metal roofs, and the metal roofs have their plus minuses. Which
Yeah, let's talk about metal roofs because I see some people say, "Oh, they're the best, but they're super expensive and this and that."
Yeah.
And yes,
Yeah.
no. What's your feedback on that?
we've done a number of them, everything from the specialty ones that look like shingles or siding
Mhm.
to the straight down ones that are either standing seam or what do they call it, classic rib or whatever, with all exposed fasteners. So you've got your exposed fastener issues, which will wear out in 15 years. You've got the snow and ice sliding off your roof and ripping off your gutters and your overhangs.
Because it'll slide out much faster.
Yeah, it's a smooth surface.
Ah.
And even if you put on the feet and their bars, it still happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's only so much those things can do. And you know, it's one of those things that once you have it, what are you gonna do? You're gonna put up with it for years and years because it costs you so much to get it in the first place.
Yep.
And honestly, it doesn't look great on every roof. A lot of times they look like it goes from being a nice, beautiful home feel to looking like it's a business.
Yeah.
And in a residential area, who's looking for that?
Yeah, it's interesting. And I know there's a condo subdivision up off of Maple Road, and they had a bunch of these condos, and they all had metal roofs on them.
Yeah.
And when I was selling one, I said, I bet you it's kind of cool living over here because you get that wonderful sound of the rain on the pitter patter on the tin roof. And I said that to the seller. He says, yeah, we hate it.
Yeah.
We're redoing all of the roofs.
Yeah.
We can't stand it. It makes,
Right.
if you have a big downpour, you'll be deaf.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think if people do them well, they can minimize, if not eliminate, that sort of thing. But there's another aspect I didn't mention, which is significant.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's good. Feed us the info.
The tying into pipes, flashings, skylights, and walls, you're depending on sealants a lot. And sealants don't last for 20, 30 years.
Yep.
But the way they tie them in, they're flashing things, they have no other way. And a lot of guys, they make that transition from shingles to doing metal roof. They don't actually manage all of these tie-ins and stuff where you can in the way that everything's left in their flow of water. I was in Kentucky years ago now. It was a beautiful, pretty new home that was made out of logs. It was a log cabin in the hills. And
Kind of looks cool, I guess, with the tin roof on there.
Yeah, it does actually. I mean, for that case, it probably was not a bad idea. But the way they did it was so bad. There was a whole wall on these thick logs that was rotting out.
Oh, wow.
So of course, I hopped up on the roof to see what was going on, and sure enough, they had a tie-in or a lap and wrap and was funneling the water underneath. Because these guys didn't know what they didn't know, and they thought it was all fine, but it definitely was not.
You got it. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a big issue.
And again, how do you know? How do you know when you buy something like that? You know, unless you got the right people doing the job and they actually are doing the work as opposed to subbing it out, using guys off the books.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because when we were talking before we went on, you said you don't use any subcontractors.
No.
And that's amazing.
I mean, probably the last time we ever used a subcontractor was the 60s or 70s. Because you just there's too many issues with it. Not that you can't get a good sub. I would say you might get a good sub, some cruddy subs and so on. It's just the question is how lucky do you feel?
Yeah. Well,
right? Yeah. But you can guarantee it when you're not using them.
Yeah. And one of the things I've always observed is the hardest thing in business, any business, is just finding the right people.
Yeah.
Cicero, one of the senators of Rome that was involved in killing Caesar, he said, one of my favorite quotes, good help is hard to find. 2,000 years ago, it was true.
Yeah.
It's especially true now.
Yeah.
And
It's often said.
let's sort of pick on the roofing business right now, since we have Steve here. You can get an awful lot of unskilled labor to come in
Yep.
and put up a roof. And
Might look good from afar, but far from good.
and maybe from a manager standpoint, you're just hoping they show up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they won't even show up, and it's fly by night. But if you have your own guys, you can control not just the quality, but they're going to show up. You know that you're going to have pretty much the same product every time.
Right.
Good for you.
Right.
It's hard to do though. It's real. And,
It's a choice, and a choice you have to make over and over every day. It's kind of like loving your wife.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you gotta love her.
Yeah.
And that's how we feel about
stick
roofing.
in your
Yeah.
hands.
you gotta love doing a good job and be committed to it, and make sure you're training them, checking on them, and making sure because what gets checked gets done, and that's how you have that certainty.
Right. Well, I know he loves his wife. He's got a bunch of kids.
He's
He's
got
got a
a
million
choice we
kids.
make.
Yes,
He
it
has
is.
to make it for me. It's harder for her, but
Yeah.
I mean, so sometimes things are hard to see just for a layman. But let's say not that you would necessarily. You might be put in this position. Somebody wants to have a roofing expert look at the roof before they buy a house or something like that.
Yeah.
Would you go up on the roof?
yes, yeah. I mean,
And can you?
Yeah.
And now, presuming it's not leaking,
Yeah.
and let's say it's 10 or 15 years old, so it should still be in good shape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to identify things that could be problem areas just with that limited information I gave you?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get up on the roof, it's not too crazy steep and so on. Even just get to the edge is a good idea.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can see telltale signs. You can see
Shingles curling, things like that.
yeah, you can see things that aren't right, like water. There could be a section where things are more deteriorated than others. And sometimes it's just simple fixes that extend a downspout, seal something up a pipe or flashing, and a lot of times that's all it needs if it's not a real old.
Mhm.
Or maybe you need to reline a valley or redo a section without having to redo a whole roof, which is a very reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And multiple layers. You can see that when you get to the edge too, right?
Yeah,
It's 2 layers now, right? Not 3.
Right, 2 maximum. And
Max.
most are only 1 because
Right.
so much is architectural, and you really can't go over top of architectural because if you do, chances because you got double and single layers all
Mhm.
over.
Yep.
As you put the nails in, they'll blow through and they'll be sticking up as it settles in. You'll have a mess of a roof. So really should pretty much everything's torn off.
Any real horror stories you've seen over the years?
Yeah.
I didn't even have to tee that one up.
Yeah, no, I mean, people have rotted roofs, rafters. Now, some of it's actually to do with bad insulation and ventilation.
Yep.
We had one, it was a Cape Cod house, I think is in Cheektowaga. We went there and we're seeing things sagging between the rafters, what we think is, but there was so many layers. Tear it off. Not only was the 3/4-inch boards rotted, but the rafters. So there's so many stories like that. It's hard to believe, and you don't see it till you go to do something with it
And open it up, right?
Yeah, and people don't know. They don't know because who again wants to do a roof? Nobody.
Are you able to fix a repair like that if you
Yeah.
dig into
Oh,
it?
yeah.
And now you need, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. We've got skills, and we used to be builders and
Framers.
carpenters and framers and
Okay.
do additions, and we still have that skill set. We've just
Good.
centralized what we do a little bit more. But when it's needed, we do it well, and we address all those stoppages of airflow and tight insulation stuff that kill a home.
Yeah.
Make it healthy.
Right. Yeah, it needs to breathe, just like us.
Okay, so roofs are big and expensive these days, like everything else. And I know that you have a special program to help people maybe make the transition. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Actually, I'll just mention one more thing. If you're selling a house, and or you just want to make sure a house is good, we have a roof tune-up system. It's really cheap. It's $255 to get a guy on the roof. He seals everything up, flashings and so on, and paints it, makes it look good if you're selling it, and or you just want to come home to a prettier looking house. And again, it'll prolong the life of your roof 2, 5, 10 years or whatever.
Wow.
So I just want to slip
All right.
that.
Roof
It's a
tune-up.
great deal.
You can do all the commercials you want here.
Yeah,
Like, you're gonna get phone numbers and all that stuff. We're gonna make sure you get all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is the best thing we're doing. And we do it because if people need something more and or in the future they'll think of us fondly, and we're more apt to get that job. But it is a good deal.
And you probably could preemptively see a potential issue, right? If you're doing a tune-up, you say, hey, look, this is a spot that,
Right.
is an area of concern.
Keep it from getting worse and it being a much bigger bill when they do the work. So.
Great.
So 0% financing.
Well, 0% financing.
Yeah, why?
0% financing. What is that all about?
Yeah.
Well,
Nobody does that.
Not anymore.
You're talking crazy talk, man.
We're not nobody.
Yeah.
That's right. You're somebody.
No, but 0% financing is an idea that I think is offered out there in the marketplace. I'm not sure about it in roofing, but it's a good idea because people a lot of times are in a tight spot. They got to try and get some financing quick, and they might either settle for something that's not great, and or they settle for a cheaper job because they can't afford a better job.
Yeah.
0% financing gives them some breathing room so that they can buy the right job at the right price and have some time to find the best financing for the situation.
Is that zero money down too, or is there some money down and then?
Yeah, no, it all depends on the customer. It's up to them. It could be zero.
Wow.
Or whatever they want to finance.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, they could do half or whatever. So.
Right.
But that's certainly an option. And again, this goes back to the thing about everyone wants to do things yesterday, which is probably not the best way to proceed. You might want to take some time with it. It's kind of a serious operation.
Yeah.
When you talk to a couple of doctors before you got a serious operation, you would think that you would. Right. So I think I don't think
absolutely.
So you have a concern. I would say go get a tune-up, take a and then have the specialist let them know what this is what I expect the life to be remaining, and let's put together a plan, start saving, whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good way of going about it. Everything from getting things checked out if you're uncertain. We don't charge for estimates or whatever. And a tune-up is just like, oh, you're pretty sure all it needs is that. But if we see something, we won't even charge you for it. We'll show you what it is. And if you want an estimate for whatever that might be, we'll do that again at no cost.
Wow, that's great.
That's
Sounds like the first place to go if you have a roof issue.
Well, you know what? They've been around
like
forever.
the
They've been around forever. And, one of the things that I was actually thinking of doing with Steve when I knew we were going to start doing podcasts is like once a month. I said, I'd like to have a special segment like once a month, the best guys in town.
Yeah.
In anything remotely to do with real estate. It could be a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it said this, one of the reasons why I want to live in this town is because they have this wonderful restaurant. Yeah. Or you know what? If you need a roofer, let's give you the best guy to sell. You're our official first winner of the Great Vendor Award for EXP.
So
we know you do good.
Yeah.
Well, what was the prize?
Yes.
I got a prize. I do have a prize for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a candy bar.
No. I got the prize I was going to give you last time. So. But yeah, I mean, this is the best roofer in town, and don't take my word for it. Take everyone else's word for it that's ever done a Rott roof. And if nothing else, you got to tune into WBEN Radio. I'll give you a plug on Bowerly's show because he does. Your commercials are all over that.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
And they're great commercials.
Yeah.
You're the guy that's handling your marketing is just terrific. I know him too. Eric Eustace.
Yeah.
He's a captain of the sea. What is he?
Yeah, that's what he goes by. His company of the sea is after his wife, Meredith. That's what Meredith means, is of the sea.
Oh,
very
okay.
cool.
I didn't know that. Yeah. He's a marketing captain, and he's very offbeat, and he runs a nice little shop in town. And but he's been working with you guys for a long time and doing a great job. But it's an easy. Frankly, he doesn't do a lot of heavy lifting since it's a good product and a good company. It's got to be much harder to sell something when you know it's not good.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll work for somebody unless they are.
He believes
genuine.
in them.
He just draws out what's inside of them.
That's awesome.
Like McDonald's. It's like it's not fast. It's not food. It's like I don't know what you got here. I'd have a tough time. Selling it. All right. Final stages of our descent pattern. How do we get a hold of you?
Well, the best way is just give us a call, 716-694-8220.
694-8220?
That's it.
Okay.
Right. And yeah, we also, we're on the internet, William C. Rott and Son Incorporated. Sometimes.
You're the grandson, though.
I'm the great-grandson.
Oh, you're the great-grandson.
You're the fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, fourth generation.
So we're working on number 5. Right
Okay.
now.
That's awesome.
All right, good.
Locally owned Western New York.
You're working it. Doesn't mean you have to go home and produce one. You keep looking at your clock. I got to get home and bring up the number 5. That's all right, so what's that number again? 716?
694-8220.
See, we do it the right
Excellent.
way.
Yeah,
What do you
sure
have to
do.
say for yourself?
Yeah, but like, follow, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. You
You got a number? How do they get a hold of you?
Best way to reach me is my cell, 716-908-5033.
And likewise, the real estate Dr. Brendan Cunningham here, 716-818-2526. We will get it done for you each and every time. EXP.
Thanks for tuning in.